What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Shoe Booty Sports. I'm your host, Grandpa, on this screen. That's Bradley Brown on the other. Say what's up, Brad.
What's going on?
We got lots of stuff going on. We'll get to that in a sec. First, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. And you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. Okay, so definitely only going to be a one-parter to tonight's episode. I am playing hurt, dealing with a mild food poisoning issue, I guess you could say. Um,
Do you know
I
from where?
yes, so I had originally said yesterday. I was like, okay, it was a Monday, so it was a kind of long day. So I'm gonna go home and just scramble some eggs, make a couple breakfast tacos, but I need to grab a couple things at the store. While at Kroger, the local Cabot Kroger, I saw that they had some baked chicken that was had reduced price. So it was like 261 for like a breast, thigh, drumstick, drumstick and wing. Like, man, that's a heck of a deal. And it was sell by, and it was today's date or yesterday's date. Like, okay, I should be good. So I grab it and come home, eat it. Tasted good going down. Then about an hour later, I realized that was not very good chicken. And I was hoping it would pass. Woke up at 3:30. Didn't feel good at all. I was in very rough shape. Couldn't go back to sleep. So been dealing with that ever since. Did skip work today. There was one perk out of that. I did have a doctor's appointment unrelated to that I had to get to. I'm just fortunate I was able to make it to the doctor's appointment without further issues. So I'll just leave it at that. Came home after that. It was nice. Came home and watched TV and stuff, and should have taken a nap much sooner, but I decided to take a 3+ hour nap around 4:30. So that made it very hard to get out of bed. But I am up. I am starting to wake up more as I talk. So that's what I'm dealing with. Rocking my Arkansas Travelers hat tonight, my favorite hat, just because Travelers are in the divisional playoffs. Last I checked, they're down 2-1 to Springfield right now. They're playing in Little Rock. Would have liked to have gone, but if they get to the divisional championship, I think I'll find a way to go to that. So that's all that's going on in my world. You had said something about everybody being sick before this. What's everybody sick with?
Oh, well, just my parents down there were near where you're at there. I think they've had like a run of COVID or something going on down there. They've been out a couple of days. So not at the same time, but apparently they've been under the weather as well.
Well, that is going on. My day job is at a hospital, and we've all but one of my isolation carts were gone as of Monday. Like I said, did not go today. So, yeah, it was a great day to miss work. I enjoyed it as much as I could. All right, so let's get to the sports version of the show. I'm just glad their issues aren't bad chicken related. You've dealt with that before. As I was sitting on the Duke throne at 3:30 a.m., I was thinking that. I was like, this better not be what he dealt with back in high school.
Yeah.
Because she
Lost,
that was
yeah, lost 25 pounds within a week. It was great.
yeah, you looked pretty rough at it, like a different person after that. It was pretty wild. Okay. So we got some sports to talk about. Razorback football came out with a close win at home against UAB in the home opener. We'll talk about that. I didn't necessarily, I don't know, it felt like a Razorback football game to me in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. But other stuff going on, NFL action, week 2, fantasy stuff, lots of people hurt. So we'll discuss who we got, who to get, whatever, and more. Let's go ahead and dive into the Razorback football game. Not a great start. It was, I don't remember what the score was at one point early in the game. Do you?
It was like 10-0, right?
Yes, it was something like that. 14-7, 10-0. I couldn't recall which. And it just not a great start in your home opener if you're the Hogs. UAB came to play. They looked ready to play. They looked prepared. I thought in the first half that Trent Dilfer was basically putting on a solid audition um, for a promotion at another school at a certain
Yeah.
point. I say promotion. I guess it would be a promotion. Just a job at a bigger school. I'll put it that way. They looked well prepared. UAB, that is. Arkansas just wasn't hitting on all cylinders. I don't know what it is about Taylor Green and not being able to grab snaps from the shotgun. It's he's had issues with that the last couple of games, just dropping snaps and finding good snaps. They wasn't like he was reaching down for it or anything like that.
No.
Jaquindon Jackson looks like a ball player though, and Taylor Green is too. I mean, he's a gamer. He's not consistently accurate, and that was what we saw even in the UAPB game. But when he's on, he's on, and I mean his numbers look good, but he'll make plays, but he'll miss some throws too. And we've kind of seen that in the last 3 years prior to this with KJ. I mean, KJ is a gamer. He's going to make plays, but he's going to miss some throws too. By the way, he's doing.
He made some plays this past weekend.
Yes, he's done well for himself so far at UCF. Yeah, a comeback win against TCU. So I believe the Golden Knights are 2-0 now. So good for them. Good for KJ. Wish him well because he had it rough in his last season at Arkansas. I didn't blame him for wanting to transfer out of that, even with Bobby Petrino coming in.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't looked. I don't know. He hasn't looked that great in their first two games. I mean, he kind of shined on the last game. So maybe he's getting what Gus is putting down. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen him play much. I didn't see any of their first game, but I mean his numbers have looked like KJ numbers
Yeah.
is mainly what I've thought about, and he will thrive in Gus Malzahn's offense. I mean that's kind of the perfect coach for him as a quarterback and what his strengths are as a dual threat quarterback. Taylor Green, Arkansas's dual threat quarterback, though. Um, I thought Petrino called a heck of a game. We had Arkansas mistakes, though, penalties on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Slaughter killed them at times on the defensive side. Looked better down the stretch. Honestly, overall, I don't know. I didn't necessarily think Arkansas played that bad. I just don't think they're as good as maybe we want them to be. Are they better? Yes, but I think UAB is probably better than anyone would want to give them credit for. And Arkansas,
It, I don't know. The week prior, they got crushed by ULM. So I think Arkansas got caught looking ahead a little bit. So they thought all they had to do was show up and that they're going to win. And UAB made it apparent that that was not going to be the case. So, and who knows what would happen if they would actually recover that onside kick that they tried pulling in the first quarter.
I like the call, by the way, by them.
Yeah, I like it too.
I want to say it was like 10-0 at that point.
Yep.
Trying to maintain that momentum. It wasn't well executed by them, UAB, but I liked the move. It was a ballsy move by Dilfer and company on the road, a game you're not supposed to win anyway. I was totally okay with it. I don't know. Arkansas just looking at the whole thing collectively, do they make mistakes and all that? Yeah. It just felt like I never thought, and this is coming from a guy that's seen Arkansas lose some pretty terrible games. I never really felt like UAB was going to win that the entire game.
I didn't either, but I
Like,
just did not like the way that we looked.
no, well, even when it was like a one, I mean, it was basically like a one possession game. It felt like most of the second half, and I never felt worried about it. I thought Arkansas would do enough to win it. So I wasn't necessarily worried. I mean, what was the final? 37-27, something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not upset with that. Um, yeah, Arkansas definitely should not have been looking ahead at anybody based on the way that they played against Oklahoma State. They needed to be dialed in completely on whoever they were playing Saturday. That didn't look to be the case at times. Other times they looked really good. I mean, the running game is a serious bright spot on this team. Jaquindon Jackson, a clear cut RB1 on this team. Nobody's even close to as good as him. Uh, whoever the second guy was, number 20, I can't remember his name. But I mean, he looked good too. But Jaquindon Jackson, clearly the bell cow back in that backfield for Arkansas. Love what I've seen out of him so far. His well, one is ability. I mean, he's got great vision for a running back. Um, he did a better job holding on the ball onto the ball this past week. I don't know. Maybe I'm just strangely optimistic about it, but I didn't see it as necessarily just a bad game for Arkansas. I mean, was it flawless? Of course not, but it never is with Arkansas football. So I think that's probably where my expectations are too. All in all, I was okay with the overall performance, I guess.
Yeah, seems like most of the time we always play either up or down to the level of our competition. You know, I'd say 90% of the time there are some outliers out there like the UAPB or the Missouri game last year where we throttle or get throttled. But yeah, I was never in doubt that Arkansas was going to win that game. I just think it took them a while to wake up. So
I would agree with that, but isn't that a good thing though that you didn't necessarily feel like Arkansas wasn't? You never really felt they were going to lose that game. In the
I,
moment, I thought that. In the moment, I thought, you know, I don't know that I've ever felt this way about Arkansas football before. I'm sure I probably have during the Petrino years, but it was in the moment I thought that you know what, I don't Arkansas is not going to lose this game, and I was conscious of that. I was conscious of that in the moment. Like, this is weird because they're fully capable of blowing any game that they play, and yet I feel like they're going to win this game and like 100%. I was that confident in it, and they did. So I don't know. Um, bright spots to take away from this one, and things to work on before Saturday's game. Is it at Auburn or is it at home?
you know, it's at Auburn.
Okay.
So
All right.
so
Well,
that
bright spots for me to take away from this one: the running game.
yeah.
Still not thrilled with the consistency of the defense, especially the secondary, but that's been an ongoing thing at Arkansas. I actually think they've. It's hard to say compared to how they've done the last two seasons, where a high school offense could, put up 450 yards on them. But it's. I feel the secondary's gotten better from recent years, but they're still not where they need to be.
Yeah, yeah, they're not where they need to be. But yeah, I think they're better than they were last year. What really hurt us, or what really hurts us now, I think, is the just Hudson Clark, going out with a concussion during the Oklahoma State game, and he was out for the UAB game. Hopefully, we get him back for the Auburn game. Um, Former walk on. Um, yeah, I think not having him there. I mean, hell, he is a senior, like a fifth-year senior. He's got the experience. He's probably well, I mean, the best at that position that we can put in there. So I think he would help out quite a bit if we can get him back for this game because Auburn's new quarterback, their true freshman, he looked pretty good whenever they plugged him in last Saturday. I don't know if you got to watch any of that game.
No, I saw a little bit of them playing Cal. I didn't pay much attention to anyone really outside. football game. There
Yeah,
hasn't
well,
been good
their
games.
quarterback play has been terrible. The first two games with Thorne, I believe, is what his name is, and they stuck in a kid. I think his name is Henry Brown or something. He's a true freshman. Uh, he was slinging it out there. They put up 45 or 47 points on Saturday, so they did pretty good. Though I think they'll be able to move the ball. Maybe this will be a shootout. Who knows? Of course, that was against a lesser opponent, so we'll see. I think Vegas only has them favored as a 3.5 point favorite.
So I'm looking at another bright spot other than Jaquindon Jackson running the ball for Arkansas. Andrew Armstrong,
Yeah.
wide receiver, clear cut number one for the Razorbacks. I was trying to make sure I got his name correct and all that. Uh, so far in 3 games, 18 catches, 301 yards. Although, did he not play against UAPB? Because I'm looking at his stats now.
He had like 11 or 12 catches just at UAB, right?
No, he had, well, at Oklahoma State, he had 10 for 164 yards. And against UAB, he had 8 catches for 137 yards. So I'm guessing
Maybe it was 11 or 12 targets.
he didn't even play at UAPB or against UAPB, apparently. So, of course, they didn't need him to in that one. But 18 catches, 301 yards in 2 games. Heck of a start for him. Especially since I did see some drops this past game that I was not happy or thrilled with.
Yeah.
But those are the bright spots to me for Arkansas. I saw that they had a 41% chance to beat Auburn. Let's go ahead and do a score prediction for that. All right, Arkansas and Auburn Saturday. I think it's a 2:30 game because I'm coming back from Fort Smith Saturday, so I'll be home in time to see that game in its entirety. Who you got? What's your score prediction Saturday? Arkansas and Auburn. Go.
I'm not gonna change anything that we had predicted earlier in the season. If they still had Thorne back there and I wouldn't have seen Henry Brown play over this last weekend, I would have probably chose the Hogs by like 3 points or something, but I'm gonna stick with Auburn and say like 28-24 Auburn.
That's probably I'd say that's a good score. I think it's going to be close. I think it'll be closer than people think. Arkansas has shown that they can, compete with at least top 25 teams because Oklahoma State looked a lot better Saturday. Continuing on to their unbeaten record, they've even moved up in the rankings. But say what you want about that. But uh, here's the difference between how I feel now and how I felt earlier in the season. I didn't think there was any way Arkansas could win more than 5 games, and I predicted a 4-8 season. I think they could realistically win 6. I think they could realistically win 6 regular season games.
Where
I
are they
didn't
gonna
say
get win?
I
Where are they
didn't say
gonna
I
get?
was going to predict that. I'm just saying I could see it happening. Auburn is beatable. Um,
Yeah, they are. So it's LSU, as they
LSU is
shown again.
beatable,
Yeah. So is
and
A&M.
yes, A&M. That's another one. So, I mean, that's 3 more wins. They Arkansas is not going to do that.
Yeah.
But winning 6 games is not. I wouldn't be shocked at that if they were able to do that. I would consider that like a definite success if Arkansas is able to get 6 wins and get to a bowl game. I'd say okay, successful season.
Yeah.
Um, I said that it could realistically happen, but I'm not going to go back on my overall score prediction or excuse me, record prediction. So I'm going to say Auburn as well. Petrino's offenses are going to score points. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be a little more. I think they'll always kind of be around the 30s until they play like a juggernaut. I'm going to say, I'm going to say 30. I'm going to say 38-31 Arkansas, or excuse me, Auburn. Check that. I'm going to say 38-31 Auburn at home. Um, Jordan Hare, tough place to go get a W. Auburn's always, I mean, it's Auburn. So
Yeah.
they're beatable, but they're not. It's not going to be an easy win either, especially if you're Arkansas. So 38-31 Auburn. That's my score prediction there. Hopefully, we're
Wish I
both
could go
wrong.
to that game. So Jordan Hare is a fun place to visit.
I could see that. I would. I've been to. We've been to the Neyland Stadium. I was trying to think of it. Tennessee, huge stadium.
Yeah.
So that it was cool to go to a different environment and play, and it helped that Arkansas won that game as well. But it would be cool to go to another stadium.
Yeah.
College football, I've been to obviously Razorback games, but yeah, Neyland Stadium, Tennessee, like SEC games, and been to the SEC championship game. So all
That's
very
pretty
fun.
cool. Yeah.
Yes. Did you go to that? The Reggie Fish game?
No, no. I watched that misery on TV. Um, yeah.
We don't
But
have
no,
to talk.
I've been to Neyland, I've been to Jordan Hare, and I've been to watch the game at Ole Miss back before they did their renovations on their stadium.
Well, the Georgia Dome was fun.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the Reggie Fish fumble happened on the opposite end zone I was sitting in, so I didn't have to see it just right there in front of me. Hogs lost that one. Still very fun. Still very fun game to go to though, and Atlanta's just a fun town to be in.
Yep.
So no regrets there. All right. So let's any other takeaways from college football Saturday other than Florida State is I mean, I don't know what else to say. A dumpster fire at this point.
Yeah. I think that one fan cursed him. He's got to do what he said he was going to do.
What are you talking about? I don't know what
The
you mean.
fan that said that if they lost to Boston College, he was going to
Oh,
eat. Yeah, he was going to eat dog poo out of a red Solo cup.
still hasn't done it by the way.
No, he deleted all of his social media. Like, yeah, he still hadn't done it.
I mean, I would too. I wouldn't do it either. What's somebody going to do? Be like, oh, you said you have to. You said this on social media, so you have to do it. Of course, I'm not
Yeah,
going to do that.
no.
But at the same time, it became very famous, and like,
Mhm.
of course, you don't do it, but at the same time, we're going to pressure you to stand on your word.
Yeah.
And he did what I would do. Just delete everything. I don't know that I'd delete everything. I'd just come out and be like, look, I'm not going to do this.
My phone got hacked. That wasn't me.
I would just say, yeah, that was a stupid thing to say. I'm clearly not. It would be an even dumber thing for me to actually do it. But
Or
yes, I
fake
deserve
it, man. Like,
or
I don't
what?
know. Free said or fake it. Free some like chocolate frosting and some logs and eat it real quick.
Yeah, but then people are going to see you eating dog poop, or at
Who
least in their mind.
cares? Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But
Forever. You might care in 40 years when your grandkids' friends or bullies at school are saying, your grandpa ate dog poop. Here's proof. I don't know. I'm fine. Like I said, I would have handled it the other. I would just been like, yeah, I said it. I'm not doing it. Feel free to send hate tweets, whatever. But yeah, it's not happening. Stupid thing for me. I'm wrong. Whatever. Um, okay. So I'm glad we
I'd
got to
say
talk about that. We haven't discussed it on
yeah.
the show.
I'd say other takeaways from this weekend was man, did Arch Manning look pretty good. He's got some wheels on him.
Yeah.
Um sa- uh,
What, four touchdown
Georgia,
passes
yeah,
for
four
one?
touchdowns and one run for a touchdown. Like a 65 yarder at that. Um Georgia don't know what happened against Kentucky, but they squeaked one out against Kentucky.
Escape to the
Um, yeah. And South Carolina, did they get screwed out of that game? Some say yes, but there was some they had that pick six called back for the block on the quarterback, uh, which probably wouldn't have been a flag 10 years ago, but whatever. That they had their chance, they still lost it. Um, And yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was still surprised to see that they dropped Georgia back. I mean, they still won, but I guess Texas looked so impressive with their backup in that they moved them up to number one.
Yeah, when you barely squeak by a Kentucky team that got beat by South Carolina the week prior.
Throttled by South Carolina.
Yeah, and then Texas looking as good as they have, and you've got a blue chipper coming in as your backup quarterback. I get why you moved Texas to number one. I'm good with that actually because it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're top 12 or whatever it is now, you're getting in. So the rankings don't really matter at this point. It's cool to say that you're
No.
number one, but who really cares? But I think that's the correct thing to do. That would be my vote too. I'd vote Texas number one right now.
Yeah. But then you had Notre Dame actually showing up to a game. I guess they were good and pissed off whenever they kicked off. They put up quite a bit of points. Tennessee was downright dirty to Kent State. They go, what? How many points did they score in the first quarter? Like 42 or something like that. And
I
they tried an onside kick after they were up by 30 something. I mean,
saw it was like 65-0 at the half.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Ole Miss rolled. I mean, of course.
Yeah, they
Um,
played Joe T. Robinson High School, Little Rock Catholic, and Furman.
yeah.
Um, so they should be rolling. I mean, Jackson Dart's numbers are looking Heisman worthy, but until I see it against actual competition, that's when I'll take it. I think Ole Miss is for real. I mean, I think they could win 10 games again for sure and probably get in the playoff. I had said earlier this season, I don't think they're going to be as good as people think. So far, they're looking really good. But again, we'll see how it goes once SEC play starts for them. All
I
right.
was kind of no, I was gonna say I was kind of expecting the Oregon State game to be a little bit closer than what it was, considering Oregon had started off a little bit on the struggle bus this season, but they blew out Oregon State pretty good. And I was surprised Missouri and Boston College was as close as it was as well.
Um, I'm not. I mean, but BC is. I mean, they look to be a legitimate top 25 team. I mean, Bill O'Brien's turned them around. They look prepared. I figured Missouri would win as they should.
Yeah,
I wasn't very surprised with that. Oregon has
figured
looked
it'd be
like Oregon since week one.
yeah.
After that close game, they've looked like the Oregon team I thought they would be since then.
How about Michigan, or how about Arkansas State hanging with Michigan by 10 points?
Shout out to the Red Wolves. I mean,
Yeah,
Michigan, not what they were a year ago, obviously, but I mean, yeah, you go to Michigan's place and just lose 28-18. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, that's definitely a moral victory, something to come away holding your head high about. And I think that was Arkansas State's first loss of the year. So,
Yep.
2-1 start for the Red Wolves. Good for them. All right, should we move on to NFL football now?
Oh yeah.
Plenty to discuss there. Chiefs Bengals didn't disappoint. Um, Falcons and
Bunch
Eagles definitely didn't disappoint.
No, I know a bunch of Bengals fans were crying online after their game. So
Well, that people that aren't Chiefs,
that's an obvious pass interference call. I don't know what they're whining about,
is a clear
but
pass interference call. But people, I mean, you know that. I mean,
yeah,
this goes back to. I mean, this is anything to that call, to the Tyreek Hill arrest footage, or almost arrest footage, detainment footage. People will see like the actual thing happen in front of them, and then they'll see what they want to see. They come up with their own. I don't know. They do mental gymnastics to where it fits whatever they want it to be.
yeah,
You can't look at that play objectively and say that it was not pass interference. He was clearly there early. Um, the on the final drive of the Chiefs Bengals game, that would have been a turnover, right? It was fourth and like 16.
yeah.
Yeah, would have ended it in Cincy's favor. But yeah, Chiefs got the call as they should have. But that's the narrative around the Chiefs. If you're not a fan of theirs, if they get a win, the refs had something to do with it. But I mean, if you're a top dog in whatever sport it is, you're going to get those kind of accusations from detractors, haters, whatever you want to call it. But The Chiefs are the Chiefs. I mean, they kind of hang with you. Um, and I didn't think they played poorly or anything, but they hang with you. We've seen that in these first two games, and but they deliver the knockout blow when they need to. Like they take
Yeah.
their game to just another level in the moments that it matters. I mean, look at Travis Kelsey. His biggest plays come in the biggest moments. Now, his biggest play Sunday was a penalty negated it, but I mean that's just an example of the Chiefs this season, and really the last couple. Um, their games are all pretty close, but I mean it's the National Football League; they're all going to be pretty close games. Typically, that's what makes it so great. The NFL, that is there's just so much parity, but the
Yeah.
great players make the difference, and that's the case with the Chiefs. They have the best player in football, and really the best football player I've ever seen. And so you're going to win the close ones. I love Chiefs Bengals is always must see TV. Always must see TV. Um, Bengals always get up for that game. Hendrickson had a heck of a game, the defensive end for Cincinnati. Um, but Chiefs pulled it out. Uh, Jets finally got a win. What was the Sunday night football game? I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
You are too, apparently. It must not have been that memorable.
Was it the Bears and Texans? It
Yes,
was.
yes, yes. Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
because uh,
Caleb Williams was running for his life.
he looked good at times early. He looked like I mean, he's. I think he's going to be a player in this league. I mean, he's a rookie quarterback. All the rookie
Yeah.
quarterbacks are struggling right now. But there are some bright spots for the Bears. The defense has looked really good these last couple of weeks. Caleb Williams can play, and the light bulb will come off eventually, or excuse me, come on eventually. It'll probably be next year at some point,
Yeah.
but I'm glad that he's playing. When he needs to learn to slide sooner. When he took that hit on the sideline, it was a clean hit
Yeah.
that the Bears sideline flipped out about. But at the same time, I'm perfectly okay with the Bears sideline flipping out like that, like sticking up for your rookie quarterback like that. Love to see that, even though it was a clean hit. Love seeing it from the Bears. That is. The Texans 2-0, the only 2-0 team in their division right now. They look. I thought Stephon Diggs, in a lot of ways, very talented player, but in a lot of ways had kind of To like vibes as far as I thought the Bills would be better off without him,
Yeah.
and that's kind of shown to. I mean, it's working out for the Bills just fine. But I kind of hated that for C.J. Stroud. I was like, now Stroud's going to be feeling like he's got to give Diggs his touches, things like that. That hasn't been the case, at least from what we've seen. I mean, Diggs has been like a coach on the sideline in a lot of ways. He's been a complete team player so far. That Stroud has a different. He's just different. He has a different quality about him. He does not look like a second year player. I mean, he
No.
looks like a veteran out there, a clear cut franchise quarterback. Of course, going back to college days, I've always been high on CJ Stroud, saying he's going to be the next big thing. I stand on that. I don't see how I couldn't right now. He's only going to get better. The Texans have gotten better. That's the thing. They spent money on Stephon Diggs. They went and got Joe Mixon. The Texans may legitimately be the second best team in football right now. They have
Good.
a strong case for it.
Yeah. Regarding the Dig situation, it's only week 2. Let's see what he's like in week 12. So
Exactly. I mean, or when it doesn't go well, because it's in 17 regular season games, you're not going to win them all. And so when things go poorly, yeah, we'll see what happens. It is still early, but all I can go on is what I've seen so far, and it's not what I thought it would be. I mean, Diggs has been a complete team player thus far, and I got to give him props for that.
yeah.
Okay, so the Monday Night Football game, despite me feeling pretty ill last night, it started then, like an hour after I ate that crap. Uh, it was, yeah, it was rough, and, and during, but Okay, the Monday Night Football game again, Eagles, Falcons. It was close, but not a great game necessarily until the second half. The second half got
Yeah.
interesting. Fourth quarter, it got really interesting. Of course, Saquon Barkley dropping the out route that would have sealed it for the Eagles. Not he would have gotten the first down. He probably would have scored,
Yeah.
but he definitely would have gotten the first down to where they could just run out the clock and leave with the victory. Now that's a shocker that I mean nothing surprises me, but the fact that the Falcons came away with that win was a surprise.
It made it look easy.
Yeah, I mean it's like they were in prevent defense, the Eagles that is, on the Falcons' final possession. Kirk Cousins lit them up. I mean,
Yep.
had threw just darts to Darnell Mooney, I think is his name. Threw absolute darts down the stretch to get the win there. I was happy for. I'm a Kirk Cousins fan after seeing him on Netflix on the quarterbacks show on Netflix. I've always liked him, but of course he's Kirk Cousins. He's going to have great regular season games, but in the games that matter, he hasn't shown up or he's played poorly. That's a fair criticism of him. But I became a fan of his after the Netflix series, and to see him, I don't know, come out with a win there, can't help but be happy for the guy, especially considering he's coming off of that Achilles injury. But what a game last night! What'd you think of Jason Kelsey on the Monday Night Football broadcast?
That was pretty funny. I want one of those jumpsuits. Looks pretty comfy.
I I like his suit. I mean, his suits look really sharp. Yeah, I think he's done very well so far. Um, Tom Brady, I think he's doing okay,
He's
but
getting better week by week.
yeah, but you can he's doing things so textbook. Like he's not letting the
Yeah.
personality come out. He's just doing it the textbook way right now. That'll improve with time. But I think he's done okay, all things considered. Jason Kelsey has just been himself, and that's been very fun to watch. Okay, we'll get out of here on this fantasy football. I somehow got the win this week, despite only scoring 108 points. So, um, yeah, I had a good enough game. Brock Bowers, by the way, he was a guy I just took at tight end because that was the kind of the best pick there at the time in round
Mhm.
10 or whatever it was. Looking like a really good tight end now. I did have to put Christian McCaffrey on the IR, and Cooper Cup is going to be out for a long time. So I'm having to put in some waiver wire additions this week. I'm going for Rashid Shaheed, Saints wide receiver, and I'm putting in a
How is he
claim
available?
10-person league.
Wow.
Yeah. How'd your team do this week, Brad?
Both of my teams won pretty handedly. My one team in the Yahoo League, I have Cooper Cup.
They still have
I'll
Yahoo League?
be yeah,
Right on.
I'll be going to the waiver wire tonight, searching. It's slim pickings, man, in that league. Actually, in both leagues. That one's the lesser of two evils. I think it only has 12 people in it, so it's not the 14 team league. But I was looking earlier, man, and there was a bunch of names I've not heard of, so it wasn't looking that good.
That's how
Um,
it's going to be. But hey, at least you got at least Yahoo leagues are still a thing. I think that's pretty cool. All right, well, we're
yeah,
out of time, so we're gonna have to see y'all next week, but we'll be back with more this time next week. Razorback football, pro football, and more. Till then, I'm Graham Powell.
Brother
Um,
Brown,
deuces, y'all.
peace.